Hello guys. Welcome to another video. This is Wisdom King YouTube channel. By the way, subscribe over YouTube channel for more exciting videos of that time I got reincarnated as a slime. Spoiler alert, in this video used images just for reference. Chapter 1. The Eve of the Festival. Part 9. If you haven't seen previous videos of Chapter 1 yet, take a look, there is a link in the description. In that case, I'm planning to start a school of my own back home. We got a lot of B-rank dudes over there, and I could probably have old man Hakuro, my own teacher, serve as an instructor. When it comes to swordsmanship, at least, he's better than I am, so I'm sure he could teach them that much. Hakuro would be just fine, when it came to sword skills. The children needed more instruction than that, of course, but, whoa, Yuki marveled, that actually sounds great. Would you mind taking over custody of them for a while, then? Yeah, that's another idea. But they're still gonna need to learn life skills for human society from somewhere. Children learn a lot of these skills interacting with one another. Robbing them of that chance, I worried, could stunt their communication skills as they grew up. We'd be seeing more and more adventurers in Tempest over time, and their own children would probably be attending this school I pictured, but that wasn't likely to gain major momentum for another few years. Until then, they'd have to live in an environment with no other human children, and that struck me as problematic. Oh, because it's nothing but other monsters instead of human kids. Yes, that could be an issue. Yuki and Klaus had the same misgivings, nodding their agreement. I was glad we were on the same page with this, but I couldn't rest easy yet. There was something else on my mind. They could just travel to Tempest for instruction in battle. We have the teleportation magic for it, they could come over a few times a week if you like. But given their background, I think they better get some instruction in elemental spirits as well. This wasn't a problem, exactly, but still not something I wanted to compromise on. The elemental spirits within them helped protect their lives, to a large extent. If they wanted to harness their powers correctly, they'd need more core knowledge about them, knowledge I simply didn't have. Not to put too fine a point on it, but everything I knew about this world was gained strictly off my own experience. Me trying to explain elementals would be like you or I explaining how to breathe through words alone. I could go over logical facts and stuff, but I couldn't impart the real essence. I was reminded of the way Hinata and her paladins fought, a fusion of sorts between spirit magic and swordsmanship. It was a unique approach, and mastering it must require a deep understanding of spirits. If they could impart that to our kids here. And, when I think about spirits, I think of the paladins. Should we ask Hinata? I was thinking the same thing, but Hinata can be kinda scary, Well, true. She'd never allow the kids to take advantage of her, that's for damn sure. But I'm worried she'll be a little too harsh on them. That's hard to deny, yes. Yuki and I looked at each other and sighed. But we'd need to save this discussion for later. I could already see the children running back to us, luggage in tow. It was festival season. No point in pondering these thorny issues when there's so much fun to be had. For now, I could ask Hakuro about instructor work and worry about other matters later. It was procrastinating, I know, but we'd figure something out. So, following the same thought process I usually turn to for issues like these, I mentally switched gears and quit my worrying. Leaving the main gate into Inglesea, I set up a transport gate in a secluded location. This wasn't magic, technically, so I could deploy one without any magic circle required. Yuki looked at me rather coldly about that, but the kids were used to it. Teach, if it's that easy for you to use these gates, then come visit us more often. It was Kenya complaining, and he was absolutely right. I apologized profusely to him. With all the stuff that had happened, it had been hard to find free time and I couldn't really guarantee anyone's safety, but no point telling him about that. It'd just make the kid all anxious. So, while dancing around the subject a little, I promised to go back to see them more often. On the other side of the gate, I took Yuki and the kids straight over to my favorite lodging in town, a private area, separate from the 4-star nobles' accommodations and reserved for our top officials. Yuki went off to his room, and as he did, I turned toward the children. I'm sorry, guys, but I still have some work left. You'll have to wait until tonight to see me, okay? Oh, none of them was too excited to hear this. Quiet. I took a pendant out from my pocket, silencing them. I thought we could use this to play a game, but that lifted their spirits. They were eager to hear more, and once I was sure they were, I began to explain. You see this pendant here? It's kind of a free pass ticket to all the booths and stuff in the festival, starting tomorrow. Carry this around, and you can eat and drink all you want in the stalls, and you're free to come and go through any of the event halls you like. But just remember, there's an upper limit of 100 silver coins, use that up, and it's game over. You'll have to go back to your rooms then, and I'll give you homework as punishment. But if you've been doing your work up to now, I'm sure you'll be smart enough to stretch this out for 3 days. Sound like fun to you? I knew from the start that I couldn't watch these kids all day, so I thought up this tactic for them. That's what you normally did with kids at a fair, right? Give them an allowance and let them run free. I felt bad about not taking them around, but I figured the kids would have more fun alone anyway. And with C's agents deployed across town, they'd have no trouble keeping tabs on them. This way, at least, I could let them loose on the festival without major concern. And, really, 100 silvers was a crazy generous budget. Most of the stalls and attractions didn't even charge you 1 silver, you'd have to make a concerted effort to spend that much in 3 days. I called it a game, but really it was just a premise I'd invented to set them on their way. Let's do it. I bet there's all this rare stuff to see, can't wait, huh Ken? Yeah, I can't. Thank you, Teach. I'll buy something for you, Teach. They were up for it, all bursting with anticipation. I gave them the pendant, returning each of their excited nods. It's always fun, I think, that anticipation before a big event. I also thought about telling them Ramirez was in town but decided against it. I planned to introduce them after the fest anyway, so no need to hurry things. Besides, all the kids, Kenya and Alice in particular, were already busy planning out the next 3 days of fun. The servants at our lodging would take care of the rest of their needs, I figured. Okay, guys, if you need anything, just ask the hostess in charge here, alright? And I doubt you'll need to, but if you have to contact me about something, just hold that pendant tight and think hard about me. It'll trigger a messaging magic. Okay, they all shouted back. Good to see them so eager. And with that, figuring I would be in their way beyond this point, I left their room. Now I had wrapped up all the necessities. I had a little time before the pre-opening, so I thought I would take a quick break in my room before it began, but the world had other plans for me. Sir Rimuru, the hero Masayuki's party has arrived outside of town. Soei quietly appeared to whisper the news into my ear. A hero? Huh, what kinda dude could this be? I thought over the possibilities as I came by to greet him. As I did, I could see several elves getting jostled around on a large wagon. I had heard they were freed from that Othrus ring, and I guess the news was true. It was a pretty fancy wagon, too. They must have been treated well post-rescue. On another, smaller covered wagon was a boy with blonde hair, sitting in the cabman's seat with another man holding the reins. Was that Masayuki the hero? He looked Japanese to me, but with the rounded lines to his face, there might have been something in his blood from elsewhere. That sort of pop idol look, you know. Silky blonde hair, almond-like eyes with double-fold eyelids. His face was childish, but he just projected this aura of coolness. The girls must have loved him, but frankly, he didn't look very powerful to me. You can't judge a book by its cover, though. He was definitely an otherworlder. I could see it in the faint heroic aura he emitted. It was meant to be intimidating, but it didn't work on me. Bracing myself, I retained my cool as I turned my eyes toward Masayuki. The party must have noticed me just then, slowing down and coming to a stop in front of me.